welcome. I am excited to talk about this subject like legitimately because it has to do with websites. And so both of us have like years of experience in website development.
Yeah.
You're on the same page with me on that?
Yes.
Yeah. And then also what Rival Mind does really well is strategic website development. Right? Because a lot of people think, well, if I just build it, people will come.
Right.
So we're going to talk about that later and find out if that's really true or not. So I have some questions for you and then definitely a couple myths that I need you to bust.
I love busting myths.
Okay. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the website SEO optimization.
Yep.
So if a website does not have SEO optimization or a lack of it,
Yeah.
will it be successful online?
Yeah. No.
Okay. I was like, yeah, wait, what?
Yeah.
No.
So, I mean, here's why Rival Mind exists.
Mhm.
Like, of course, we exist to help companies thrive.
Mhm.
But how do we do that? Innovative digital marketing. So this is the ground level of what we talk to people about. Everybody knows that they need a website. Everybody's got a website.
Yep.
But that's just plain not enough. You have to understand, how are we going to use this as a marketing tool?
Yes.
And SEO optimization is it's not rocket science.
Mhm.
It's what's totally necessary in order to utilize your website to its maximum.
Yeah.
And so that starts with, basic buckets, technical SEO. How does the website itself function?
Yeah.
Can it load? Can it be crawled? Can it be indexed?
Yeah, let's get into that. Before we do, just in general, in case someone's listening and they're like learning about SEO, what is high level SEO optimization?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's trying to connect the dots between the services or the products that you provide
Okay.
with the what are people that need those services or products searching for.
Love
It's
it.
literally just that. So you are putting things on your website that are telling about, they're telling the story about what you do
Yeah.
and why it matters. So getting that information into people's hands that are looking for it is the whole art of SEO.
I love it. Okay. So let's talk about content. So not content strategy. Let's just talk about content as a whole. So my question to you is, if you have outdated content, does that provide value? And if yes or no, what can be done about it? If no, what can you do about it?
So, this is, you'll hear a lot of, digital marketing agencies say things like content is king.
Yeah.
Or content.
Yeah.
The key is, again, this is what you are sharing with the digital world.
Mhm.
So if it's outdated, i.e. you haven't put something up in a long time, or what's there has been, you launched your website 6 years ago, we put these words on this page, they've never been changed, they've never been modified. These are things that these third-party resources know. Google knows that that page hasn't been touched in 3 years.
Yeah. So it has disinterest in it.
Exactly. So what relevance is it really bringing? And how fast-paced everything is. It's we're all always looking for new, relevant, answers to our questions.
Right.
In some cases, it might be the same question that keeps getting asked year over year over year over year,
Yeah.
and the answer changes.
Yeah.
Because
Advancements of, maybe if it's a medical question, advancements in medical knowledge, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
My point exactly.
Yeah.
So being able to be marked as an expert or an authority or a trustworthy source, which is what Google's looking for, you have to keep up with things that are changing. Otherwise, you just plain aren't those things.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so my third question for you before we jump into that. So really what we're saying so far, why your website isn't getting traffic is because it's not SEO optimized and your content either isn't fresh or isn't relevant so far.
Yep.
Okay, so question number 3. Let's talk about user experience. What could get in the way of having a quality user experience, and what would be some of those technical issues?
Yeah, the first one is load time.
Okay.
Let's just be honest.
I'm impatient. Why am I not getting what I need immediately?
At this point, we're conditioned to think that if we've clicked on something and you get to 5 seconds and something isn't happening, you're like, this is broken.
Yeah.
Like whatever
makes you feel like I can't trust whatever's happening.
right.
Here.
Whatever it is that I clicked on that I was looking for some answer.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not going to get it from this because I can't even see it yet.
Yeah.
So typically, like all of us are at this point conditioned to be like, I can't even interact with that.
Yeah.
So loading
needs to be fast.
Yep. And complete. Like you need to be able to give your message once somebody has landed on your page.
Yeah.
We say this all the time. You have a matter of seconds to describe who you are, what you do, why it matters, and like literally it's seconds that people are interacting with your page. They're absorbing this information. What does it look? How is it laid out? All of that stuff, trying to understand, am I where I need to be before they bounce?
Yeah. So that's a good indicator of potentially why your website isn't getting traffic, because you've got technical issues.
Right.
Yeah.
So the other piece, like why I'm not getting traffic, we still know that there's a huge, percentage of all website interactions that are coming from search engines.
Sure.
So if you're not getting indexed is like the next barrier of, if you're not in Google's index, like you're not going to show up in search results.
Yeah.
So how, what's the deal with that, Matt? Like, so, I mean, the technical pieces are the, again, very, very overlooked in people and their websites, like page titles, meta descriptions.
Page titles,
like,
yes.
These are the very rudimentary or fundamental pieces that like you can just hand Google exactly what is on this page and what's it about. Yeah. Like you got to be able to explain that and those are
it needs to be relevant.
Putting those building blocks together is what it takes. So from page title, meta description, header tags, understanding the organization of alt text and all of those things, those are technical terms, but like these are just the fundamental building blocks for HTML creation of websites.
Yeah. And we live in this world, but yet we see, so for us, it's like a duh factor. But there are so many clients that come to us, or even people out there listening, that have no idea how important that is in website ranking. Again, we'll get to, can you just build it and people will come?
Yeah, I've been in a couple of different scenarios. The one that sticks out is our buddy Ray, who interacted with Rival Mind for a little bit. Like we were sitting in a meeting, and it was me and Josiah and a couple other people, and we were talking about prospecting. Like, what is it? How do you identify, that we can help somebody?
Sure.
And basically, like, we pulled up this website, and within a few seconds, like all of us were like just looking at what's going on. What can we see?
Yeah.
And we were like, this is a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem. And I remember Ray being like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, this is your guys' sales proposition, because like I looked at this website and none of that was
good.
None of that was jumping out at me.
Yeah.
But once you're able to see it, and then you're like, hey, the reason why this is a problem is because of this, this, and this, like, then you can start to connect the dots. And, again, that's what we're doing. That's what we're providing a service to be able to do something like that at Rival Mind.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so let's talk about content strategy and other promotion that could enhance your website and garner more traffic. So really touching on backlinks, things like that. What would you say about a content strategy or some type of content promotion strategy?
Yeah, I mean, it is the most important thing. It's the message that you're bringing to the digital world.
Sure.
So trying to figure out, like, really content strategy, when you say that to me, makes me think of like, who am I trying to reach with my message?
Yes.
So what is the audience, and how do I create content that's relevant to things that they are searching for?
Right.
How do I get in front of them? I'm answering questions that the people that I want to interact with are asking. So being able to understand via keyword research, understanding like, what are the terms that are being searched?
Yeah.
Who's in the marketplace? Like, who else is talking about these things?
Yeah.
How are they answering questions? So
find out what people are asking in your field, your expertise, and producing the types of content that answer those questions is more likely to get your website attention in those Google searches.
And that's it. Like
Yeah.
you just did a very good job of succinctly saying, well, what is SEO?
For
It's
us
like,
not so SEO bright people.
it's
There you
not-
go, everyone.
it's not snake oil.
Yeah.
It's not rocket surgery.
logic.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
literally thinking through logically,
Mhm.
hey, if I was looking for this product or service,
Yeah.
like these are the things, and we ask this with with our clientele all the time.
Mhm.
Hey, what question is it that when you finally get to talk to somebody on the phone or you set up a meeting, like what 4 questions are the first 4 questions you always end up answering?
Mhm.
And they're like, oh, it's this, and this. So you're like, nowhere
Let's answer that question.
nowhere on your website
Yeah.
would they have been able to answer that question. So if you can create a content strategy that starts moving you in the direction of people being able to get that much information,
Mhm.
they're that much closer to being sold by the time you actually interact with
So
them.
less work for your salesperson.
Hey, we've said in times past that your website should be your number 1 salesman.
Yeah, I love it. Yes, that's a good tip. But I still have quick wins and tips to ask you. So
Okay.
that one doesn't count. So my last question before we bust a couple myths is you touched on it, targeting kind of the right audience. How important is it to target the right audience? And then what is the quickest way to do that?
Yeah, I think, it's the easiest way to have the conversation is talking about the sales funnel.
Mhm.
At the top of your sales funnel is you're casting the widest net. So you're
So like the most broad amount of people that you can get your attention and get your name in front of.
right.
what
How
you're
is
saying.
it?
Yeah.
How is it relevant to them? So
Mhm.
like writing an article that answers a very broad question is helping grow your expertise, authority, trustworthiness, in a broad sense. Versus as you move down the funnel or at the bottom of the funnel is a very specific, potentially long tail phrase where you're asking a specific question about a service that you provide.
Mhm.
Like those are, while they'll get less eyeballs,
Sure.
the people who land there
Are more
like,
likely to convert.
that's
right?
exactly what
Yeah.
I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like these guys know what they're talking about. How do I get them to do it for me?
Yeah. And I love that you use the term funnel. That is a technical term in SEO. But the idea of capturing that broader audience, as you mentioned, and that is you kind of refine to your niche. And really, would you say kind of the conversions happen more down here?
Of course,
Yeah.
like you're leading people down the path towards conversion.
Yeah.
But you can't have holes in your funnel.
Mhm.
You ever try to pour something and have a hole in your funnel? So like understanding that each level of that funnel, somebody
Mhm.
is going to be at that level.
Mhm.
So being able to be attractive to them is where you want to be. So not everybody's thinking broadly.
Yeah.
Not everybody's thinking hyper focused. And there's, depending on what your service is or what your business is like, there's going to be subtle levels that are in between.
Yeah.
That again, keyword research and understanding what's actually being searched will identify, hey, we don't have anything that's talking about this specific thing right here.
Yeah.
We can see on all of our competitors' websites
That they do.
they've got something.
Yeah.
Like, so we should definitely be answering that question as well.
Yeah. Target that audience. Okay. Fantastic. Let's bust these myths. Kind of yes or no questions here. Number 1, if I build a website, traffic will come, right? Automatically.
No. So I mean, like, again, this is why Rival Mind exists.
Mhm.
Like, we understand that like having a great website is awesome. Like, and when you get somebody there and they can interact with it well, like, yes, you have a high potential of converting.
Mhm.
But just because you built it, nobody doesn't necessarily mean anybody knows
Yeah.
about it.
This is not Field of Dreams, people.
Right.
If anyone remembers that movie.
So how
yes.
do you attract those eyeballs?
Mhm.
Like, you have to have things that are relevant
Mhm.
outside your branded name and things like that. That's a huge piece of the puzzle.
Mhm.
Like we talk to a lot of people that will look at what does their traffic look like and where's the source of that traffic? Like a lot of it's branded phrases.
Yeah.
Like, which indicates to us that like, yeah, these people found you via search, but they happen to search your name,
Mhm.
which means that they know who
They know
you
of
are.
who you are. Yeah.
So like if you pan back, those two things work in unison. Like, you have a great website, you need to drive traffic to that website.
Yep.
The converse is something to be talked about as well.
Mhm.
Like, if you have a poor website, and you start driving all sorts of traffic to
How
it
are
actively,
people going to convert?
if they don't convert,
They aren't going to trust you.
then
and
what good
mm,
is that?
Yeah.
So like we know that they work together.
Yep.
Just trying to understand where are people at in their journey, in their business journey, and how can we help them? How can we identify which one's necessary first? Because in some cases, we'll come across people who are like, your website's okay.
Yeah.
We can make improvements on this website and start to generate traffic.
Yep.
In some of those conversations, I'm like, I would not start driving traffic to this website.
You need a full redesign,
because
re-strategize.
when people get there,
Yeah.
they're going to be like, yeah.
Yeah. That was great. Yeah. I love it. Okay. So myth number 2, SEO is a one-time setup, right? I don't ever need to update it.
Wrong. No. So, I mean, what we were talking about before is just like things are happening quickly and all eyes are on people that are fresh and relevant and new pieces of information and
Sure.
being able to speak to things that are relevant to your business. Like you have to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I use this analogy in a lot of different ways, but it's like if you have a goal to be fit or healthy,
Sure.
like you can do all of this work and get to an ideal weight or whatever it is that you achieve your goal. The thing is, when you get there, you can't stop.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're no longer going to continue
So you have to
being
just
healthy
keep working
or
at
fit.
consistency, keep building into it like anything else in life.
You walked right
I'm
you
sorry.
walked right into my trap. It's consistency
Yeah.
over intensity. So what you're saying is like, I can put a whole bunch of work into this and then it'll just be done, right? The answer is no.
It's not
Like,
how it works.
That's by principle, that's not the way we go about it. And that's just not the way that it can be maintained.
I love it. Okay. So answer there. It's not a one-time setup. All right. What are 2 quick wins, 2 tips that you could give the audience today of something that they could start doing immediately to potentially achieve results to start driving traffic to their website?
Yeah. The 2 things
Content strategy,
that stick
I
out.
know
Yeah,
we were
are
kind of
like,
talking about.
right.
Yeah.
The one is what are you putting on your website? Content.
Mhm.
Like, so being able to identify your audience,
Yep.
even if you're not yet working with Rival Mind and you're like trying to take a stab at it,
Sure.
think about the questions that your audience is asking
Mhm.
and build pieces of content that will answer those questions. That's
Beautiful.
number 1.
Okay.
Number 2
Mhm.
is technical. This is where it gets a little bit more difficult. But again, like I said, like literally just page titles and meta descriptions.
Sure.
If you
And
don't,
headers, right?
yeah,
Headers.
if you don't know
Mhm.
anything about it, like do 10 minutes of searching on your own
Yeah.
and understand like, all right, I heard Matt from Rival Mind say something about page titles and meta descriptions. Like they're literally the most easy changes that you can make from an SEO standpoint. And it will at least be step number 1 in how do I make it so that my pages are easily indexable,
Mhm.
like they can be crawled, they can be understood by search engines. And then however much you can go, you can advocate for yourself from the technical standpoint, like you're right, header structure,
Yep.
alt tags, like
Mhm.
Google comes to your website about once a week, indexes all of your pages in a fraction of a second,
Mhm.
and it looks at over 200 different things
Yep.
that it's trying to give a score, a page rank
Yeah.
for where does this fall relative to all of these things that I'm looking at. So
Yep.
there's a bunch of them out there, but just taking the steps, it's going from
One layer at a time, right?
sitting on the couch,
Yeah.
watching TV versus, I'm going to run this marathon. Like you got to get up first.
Yeah.
And so just taking the first steps is going to be the most helpful.
That's a great analogy. I feel like everyone can relate to that. This was awesome. I'm really excited about this information. Thank you for busting these myths. So hopefully this helps people out there to realize, hey, you can start doing things to naturally drive that traffic to your website. But if not, and you don't want to, call us.
Love doing this.
Yeah. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.